Alright, we good? Hey there guys, it's Metro and we are back again. And unfortunately, I think this is going to be the end of these sessions for quite a while. Not like anybody watching this will notice or care. But I definitely we'll see what happens. But if, you know, all things go to plan and I get into the alpha of the Shadowlands expansion early, starting this week, then I don't know when I would have time to do this again. If I don't get in this week, then I will continue doing more, but one way or the other, I can't imagine I will finish it before I get in. Like, at worst, it takes me 2 or 3 weeks to get in, and I think it's going to take longer than that, so we'll see. We're going to what happened there? We're going to continue to stick to the plan and hopefully have some fun doing it, but I just want to make that clear. If anybody's watching this, you should expect this to be the last session for quite a while. Of course, if you're watching this, it means it's done. So just keep that in mind. Of course, the only thing that really matters is that we finish it. And it just might mean that there's like a giant gap in between sessions and a lot might have changed. I try to keep the expectations understandable because especially with these series, like the Hunter one took like over a year to finish and there was like a 9-month gap in between sessions, so those things have to be understood if you're watching it. I mean, I look different, things are different, everything's different, so just something to keep in mind. But anyway, we are going to continue. I got about 2 hours, and like I said, unfortunately this will probably be the last time we do this for quite a while. We are queued, right? I might not have queued. Yeah, we are queued. Alright, we're going to stick to doing dungeons and doing what we've been doing, farming fires. Actually, you know what? No, forget it. We're going to leave this place. I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to go to Blade's Edge, and we're going to try to farm there and see what that looks like, and one way or the other, we'll know what we're doing for the future. I know where to get shadows. I know where to get waters. I know where to get lives. I know where to get fires. Basically, I just need to know a better place to get fires. So, that's all I should really need. And maybe we should try to craft something today, since this is going to be potentially the last one for a long time. At worst, we could craft something, right? Even if it's not. Can we get shadow cloth today? I don't think so. We need primal shadows. In order to get, what should we make? The robes? Frozen shadow weave. Well, we don't even have enough water. I mean, we need 14 shadow cloth, so we don't have enough anything. Yeah, it's just tough. 14 moon cloth, and then we would need 12 mana. Yeah, we don't really have enough of anything, so at best we can craft maybe the imbued pieces, which is definitely on the table. I'm sure we'll hit 70 today. And, I mean, we got about 2 hours here at least, so I don't know. It depends how much experience we gain from the different things. Oh, I also just realized I never turned in the dungeons for slave pens. Wait, steam vaults, yeah. I have 3 dungeons to quests to turn in, so maybe we swing by and do that. I don't know, it's probably not worth it. We're gonna do that dungeon in the future, I'm sure, again, maybe right now, so no reason to do that. But yeah, we can craft something. How much cloth do we have? Imbued nether weave, so we can make only 8 bolts, and then yeah, realistically we probably can't even craft that. We need, whoa, what the hell was going on there? Imbued nether weave requires 6 of those. We already have 2. Let's just see what happens. Let's craft them right now. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get enough right now. Maybe we'll get more. We can always maybe buy more. We have 200 and some gold, so gold's doing pretty good. Maybe we could try to sell the nether as well. I don't know how much we actually need that, because it's requiring patterns that we might not ever get. Yeah, and then 2 and bolt. So yeah, we're only gonna have 4 of these. Takes a while to craft them. Alright, so we got 4 of those, so we can make. If we only had 2 more, we can make more. We got plenty of dust though, so that's a good thing. Can we hide this? What happens if we hide this? Yeah. Yeah, so the best we can do is like not the robes. Is there an imbued? What are the other pieces? That's the wrong piece. Pants and boots. So it'd be pants, I guess. Well, maybe boots. Definitely could make boots, right? Boots are probably cheap. Frozen shadow weave boots aren't that expensive. If we had the cloth, we'd be able to make them right now. Imbued nether weave boots. Ah, we don't have the leather though. We can make that right now too, but we don't have the. We can also put that on right now. We don't have the leather though. I guess we'll stop at Chatreth and see if there's anything to be gleamed. And then the pants are just need more cloth, so might as well spend the money we have. Because we can put that stuff on right now. Yeah, some of these, both of these pieces we can put on right now. We'll see how much cloth there is. I just really don't want to make anything that's not going to be worn. Like, I think... Yeah, so the frozen shadowy boots instead are probably what I need to wear. And like I said, they can be made right now. If I just had... Oh, shit. If I just had the shadow cloth somehow, they could be made right now. So, can't afford the shadow... I don't think there's any shadow cloth on the auction house or anything like that, but... I don't think we can make it. I don't know. We wouldn't be able to make it one way or the other, I don't think, but... That's an approachable piece. It's very approachable. Good item too, obviously. What about from the moon cloth piece? Yeah, primal mana is just, I have 0 of that, and I don't know when I'm gonna get any of that. That's one thing that I haven't even thought about, primal mana. That piece is actually really approachable. It's only 4 shadow. Oh, it's actually less than the boots. That's odd. And 4 shadow cloth would just mean 4 primal shadows and 2 more primal fires. That's not bad. I mean, yeah, I could make that. Might be, maybe we try to get that done. I don't know. Problem is, we're going the wrong direction if that's what we want. Well, we need the fires, one way or the other. I don't think there's any way to circumvent this. Might get shadows from dungeons or something randomly. I feel like fire is definitely always going to be the limiting reagent if we're going to make that piece, that set, because it's very difficult to come by and you need a lot of it. What about the other cloths? You need fire for that cloth, but not for that cloth. So I could make 4 primal moon cloth right now. I could make basically as much as if I can just get more materials, more cloth, then I can make a lot of it. The shoulders are really nice, to be honest. I wouldn't mind this. The thing is, like, this transmog I would much prefer, but I'd rather not wear this piece, this set. And mana, you need mana for that piece, life for this piece, and life for this piece. So we need life. Might maybe just farm life at this point. Have to adjust our. What can we realistically get done in 2 hours? Not a lot, right? So we might have to do that. Okay, let's see how much cloth there is. 68 silver. So I mean, we could buy a lot. That's more than we should probably buy, though. Let's say we'll buy 100. Actually, before we buy anything, let's take a look for primals. Oh, primal nether's useless. Primal earth's 5 gold each. What? Okay. Any others up there for very little? Nope. Primal, everything else like hundreds. So we can't afford any of that stuff. It's kind of crazy that these things are on the auction house for this much, but I can't imagine they're gonna sell. 150,000, is that a joke? I mean, who's gonna pay that for that? I guess maybe if they really want the transmog, they would, but it's really not that hard. If you just came out here on a max level character, you can get this all in minutes. Okay, yeah, so nothing really. What about dust? Let's see. Dust isn't that expensive. What about primal? 35 gold each, that's a lot. Could definitely get it cheaper. So yeah, nether weave cloth. Let's just buy 100 of that. And that's it. Now we can do, here, let's put these back on the auction house. If they sell, then all of a sudden we're in business. And if they sold, obviously they're not going to sell today, but if they did sell, we'd be in really good shape. Oh, we could disenchant that mushroom. I thought that was another shard. I don't think I even need, literally don't need any of this other stuff.
The dark times will pass.
It's not going to sell for much, but it's better than not using it. Oh yeah, let's check on the silk too. That's 2 gold each, so that's not bad. Honestly, we should probably buy that up because that's pretty cheap. I'm gonna do that because we're gonna need a lot of that too. And it's really cheap. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we're gonna get out of the auction house. Even though there's more money to be spent, it's not really realistic to spend it. Actually, I didn't look at, there's the primal water we got. I didn't look at primal mana. I didn't even see that on there. Let me check that real quick. Let me sell these. Vendor this stuff here. I didn't see those on there, so maybe I missed them, or maybe they're just none on there. It's possible.
Keep your wits about you.
We will persevere.
Yeah, 750 gold each, basically. Primal water, 500. Primal life, 250. Primal nether is like useless. Nobody ever wants that. What about moats? Somebody selling moats like an idiot? Not really. It'd have to be silver, pretty much. Moats of water, only 15 gold each. It's not bad. It's a lot cheaper than it's selling for, but yeah, that's it. Mote of mana, I don't have any of those. Mote of mana, 37 gold each. How much could we buy? Not even close. Still can't even get one, so. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some primal mooncloth. I think that's gonna be the play. Just make the rest of this into nether weave. This is gonna take a while, but make the rest of this into nether weave. And here, let's do this. Because the bar is automatically hiding the cast bar, so you can't see me even craft it. For some reason, this doesn't show up when you craft. I don't know why that is, but it doesn't actually show up when you craft. Wait, it's still not showing up. What the hell? Wait, I had that off. Huh? Oh, it's part of the... I just realized it's part of the thing, isn't it? It's part of the macro. Where is that? Casting bar? Let's go ahead and get that out of there. That's why. Yeah, there we go. Probably just spend the rest of the money we have on netherweave at this point, honestly. No reason not to. We have another 133 gold, so we'll spend, let's say, 125 gold on netherweave now. Okay, there's never gonna be anything else to purchase, so 100 cloth more. Oh, just one more. Okay, so 175 is what we can get. It's pretty good.
The reckoning is at hand.
People are always running around outside now. It's funny. People aren't taking the stay indoors thing very serious. I'm gonna open the window too again real quick. Wait, why is it hidden again? What the hell? Oh well, whatever. I don't care. I don't know. Why is it hidden? I don't get it. Is it because it's hidden here? No, it's not hidden here. I could have swore I just turned that off. Wait, what? Oh. I only deleted the one line of it. Whoops. No, that's good, right? That's fine. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, there we go. And then we could use Plater to hide it. That's what we want. Plater. Hide Blizzard cast bar. I have it selected. Is it gonna work? No. What? This is like a different cast bar, I guess. This is not the normal cast bar. It's probably a good thing that this is not hidden, because not being able to see that is not a good idea. Oh, we don't have enough dust though. I just realized we don't have enough dust to make 14. Yeah, so that works fine. Okay, so this is actually perfect. This is exactly what we want. Alright, so anyway, let's make these. These are very... What the hell? They're hidden. It's hidden again? Dude, what is going on here? Let me buy one more nether weave real quick so I can just end this stack.
Our enemies will fall. Be ready for anything.
But yeah, I don't have enough dust. Well, how much was dust? I can't afford any, right?
The sun guides us.
11 gold. Buy one dust. I don't know. No reason to.
We will have justice.
Buy greens. Maybe there's cheap greens. Probably not. 28 dust, so we won't get too much. Yep, it's hidden again? I'm so fucking confused, dude. What is going on here? Is it because of Plater? I guess so, yeah. It's so weird. It wasn't hidden until I... Guess it just takes a while. I don't know. Okay, unhide it. That's fine. At least we understand what's going on now. Man, just like tons of people just hanging out outside. Alright, we'll make these. These take a while to make. And then we'll be able to make 6 mooncloth right now. So what should we focus on? The shoulders? The shoulders seem like the right play. We need to make 8 mooncloths, so that means let's add this all up here. We'll see exactly what we need. We're gonna make the shoulders today, guys. That's the goal. Making the shoulders. So we need 8 life for the shoulders, and then another 8 for the actual cloth itself. So that means we need 16 primal lives. We need 10 more primal lives. So that's definitely, like, we can get that, no problem. I hope. 2 hours? Maybe not. 10 primal lives. We'll see. Otherwise, the cloak, or the chest is another good option, but it's really, unlikely. Because we need 12 mana. Oh, steam vaults. Well, okay, let's do it. That's it. We'll only do this one dungeon. And then we're going to unqueue. We need the experience anyway, so.
Hello.
That's the only reason I accepted. I was going to decline it. But let's get the experience one way or the other. Okay. Alright. Let's crush this. Maybe get the pattern for that. That'll be nice. Where's the tank? Another blood DK. Wow, a lot of blood DKs. Oh, maybe it's because everybody's leveling heritage for heritage. See, I literally can't even get a cast off before the mob dies. I need to turn that off again now. Huh. Oh, big pull coming. Nice little grip from the DK. Keep that up, man. You're playing it well. Don't think any warlocks are saying that about me, though. There's a mob right next to us. Ideally, we pull it. A little risky. Pulling for the tank, but I need the lives, man. You understand, don't you? Come on, primals. Nothing. Not a thing. Is he going this way? Well, ironically, we don't need the water, so I kind of hope he doesn't pull any of the water ones. But either way, it's fine. He's probably going to pull a bunch of stuff. The previous time we did this, the tank was like, seemed pretty capable. This guy, a little bit less so, maybe. Silenced. We do have a pet out, right? I don't see it. Oh no, there it is, yeah. I don't know, man. It just seems pointless to use soul shards on trash other than for AoE. This thing is like, these mobs are dying mad quick, so we won't even use AoE here. Pet died or something? We got a moat of water, guys. Good start. Let's use a soul stone, hearthstone. Come on, so we can summon the pet and then turn these bars off. Guess that's not gonna happen. Okay, modes of life. Let's go. Swamp moss. Oops. A lot of these guys here, though. Oh, he's pulling a lot. Good. This is good, actually. It's a good thing. I'm not going to be complaining. Except when I get threat, I guess. Then I'll complain. Scary. Immolate pulled threat. That's odd. No loot at all. That like 2-yard death grip, by the way. I don't know. People are still learning the spec, I guess. All good. I don't know. Pulling with death grip is just such a silly idea. It feels like I try never to do it. I do it a lot, probably, but it's just. It doesn't ever seem like the right play. Like on paper, it's like, should I pull with death grip? No, never. No reason to. You got three other spells you can use that have basically no use case other than pulling, and Death Strike is definitely the lowest of the low on that front. Wait, did I just say death grip is what I meant to say. How long have I been saying death strike? Good idea to pull a caster with grip, but if you're gonna fight the mobs, like if there's no penalty to fighting the mobs where they are, then kill them where they stand. See, like that was definitely what I'm talking about. Pointless use of death grip. Better to use it to interrupt things instead, right? But obviously most people aren't thinking about that in these keys. These aren't keys, by the way. These are dungeons. Just regular dungeons. I keep calling Torghast things, or Torghast, Too much BFA or too much Shadowlands. I keep calling the vessels for the heroic visions keys too, and it confuses people. Oh, we got an enchant. Huh. Maybe it'll sell or something. Well, this DPS in this group isn't as good as the previous group, so I'm actually able to do something on the dungeon, which is nice. That's the way you use grip. Interrupt the cast, bring a caster closer to you. Alright, get that Boglord maybe? Need that Bogo Lordo. But that's probably the best we're getting. This guy's going the wrong way though. Yeah, it definitely looks like Immolate does apply to multiple targets. So I guess I should use I don't know what the CD on Havoc is. Alright, we're pulling big here. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Hearthstone dead. Thanks for stopping by me.
You're in trouble now.
First time I've died in a dungeon. What's happened here? Why can't I hide the UI? Okay, there we go. Well, we did everything we could to do good damage there, but then we died. This guy's gonna pull big again. Fine by me. Barrier on the pole. These guys actually know what they're doing. Look at that. Barrier on the pole, probably the best thing you can do for a Bloody K. I heard more trash though, no surprise. That guy's going down like Titanic. It's a bit risky. Actually, the guy who pulled the trash. Oh wait, I'm dead. Yeah, thanks, dead.
Don't touch what you can't afford.
I should probably get the fell puppy out and actually interrupt the fear, huh? Not a bad idea, actually, considering we're having so many troubles here. Pet? I don't... Wait, what? There's a whole pet tab? Interesting. Let's get Felpup. Where is it? Summon pet or something, right? Summon demon. Okay, get an interrupt out. Help a little bit out because we keep wiping that. I don't actually know which one's interrupt, but I try to figure out. I assume it's the Oracle actually. It's got to be the Oracle, right? Maybe there's not one in this pack. Silence! Jesus Christ! Gotta stand farther away. Heal. This doesn't seem worth interrupting. We went from not interrupting, so let's not just interrupt and waste it. It seems like a lot of people don't interrupt in these groups. Oh, it's probably the sirens, right? Yeah, that's got to be it. whiff the interrupt. Oh, my pet is fleeing. Unbelievable. Okay, silence, yeah. Big pack, big CD. Here we go. Spent all that time working about interrupts and I freaking whiffed it. Alright, we got a boss next. What happened to the carrot 2 minutes? Is it still in the game? You used to have to come here and do it. Something like under the water. Probably doesn't exist anymore. We're just gonna go full single target here because I don't feel like we can do much AoE at this point. Oh, nice little grip there though, honestly. Make sure we're not taking damage from that. It looks like we might have been, but I didn't take any damage, so I don't think so. Pet's dead again somehow, probably because of the lightning storm. It's a 30-second CD. Alright, messy, but we did it. You do have to click that. Somebody must have did it last time, because it certainly wasn't me. Got that interrupts. Everybody's riding motorcycles all of a sudden. This spec is not fun in dungeons at all, man. I really don't like it. It's a shame too because I'm probably just missing something, but it's a shame too because it's just so much better than Demo because they have the interrupt. But like, man, I don't think I could play this at max level. It's just so chaotic having to constantly. I guess you got to use that talent that puts immolates on everything, because otherwise it's just like, man, there's a lot of freaking things to be worrying about putting dots on constantly. I don't even know if the dots, like, besides that, I don't know what else, yeah, what else could happen. Doesn't feel like you have any real AoE damage. Like if you don't have soul shards, you cannot do any AoE damage. The best you can do is multi-target. And in this dungeon, things die so fast that I can't really do anything at all. Other than put dots up. Yeah, this way first. What is he doing? What are we doing? Can't go that way, guys. This way first. I wonder if I put Havoc on, will it pull the mob? Probably. Is this guy coming or what? Jesus. Talk about giving Blood DK as a bad name. No, it didn't pull the mob. That's cool. So we could actually do some damage this pack. Look at this. Double Chaos Bolt into both targets. That's perfect. Looks like I actually know how to play the spec. Earthbinder Ragey. Who's this? If you're going to get Warlord, you'll need to defeat Mechaneer Steam and blah blah blah. It just tells you how to do the dungeon, basically. I know how to do the dungeon. Thanks though. You couldn't tell maybe based on the DPS chart, but God, there's just so many people outside. It's crazy. Nobody is working anymore, so everybody's freaking just out hanging out. It's like a party on the street. If the spells do like commensurate damage, that not having good spread damage on demand is fine, then I guess the spec could be fun. But as of right now, it feels, I imagine I'm doing very bad damage, and that's not necessarily because of anything other than my gear, I hope, but it does feel like I have very poor access to damage outside of the one CD. When the CD is up, you're a freaking god. But that's kind of like Frost Mage, but then they also have good AoE. Like, it's weird, right? The spec isn't that different than Frost Mage, except that their main CD is much shorter. Like, their main AoE CD is like tiny for Frost Mage. Whereas for Destro, it's like really long. Like, to have that up for maybe 4 or 5 packs in the dungeon seems like it would be a, you know, that'd be as good as we're gonna get. If you're gonna use it on bosses, you're gonna have it up for very little trash. Single target is very straightforward though. Not sure, maybe just using whatever it's called better, obviously. Conflagrate better, because I can't even really see the CD, so I don't know how often I can use it or how often I can't use it. Pretty often. Level 70, hype. Alright, let's get this pattern, then we could say we're definitely done with dungeons. We get a new we got a new PvP talent. Alright, we'll talk about that after we're done. That's good. We hit 70 though. It's just an awesome dungeon. I really like this dungeon. Visually, I I wish, you know, there was an updated version of it, but it's really cool. I just don't know what they're really going for. Is this meant to be a Naga theme, or is this like a broken theme, or this like a Blood Elf theme? It looks very odd. And there's so many weird mobs in this dungeon. Like there's freaking Bog Lords and Broken and Leper Gnomes. Like how the hell is there a Leper Gnome in this dungeon? What is that about? Like what the hell is that actually about? I don't think Blizzard knows, honestly. I have no idea. Alright, well we have our... We got the AoE up at least, that's it. Oh, nobody clicked the fucking thing. You gotta be kidding me. Somebody has to go and do it. I guess I'll go do it. Should have known when I clicked the first one that I was going to need to click the second one too. How does this spell work? Is it going to kill me? Let's hope not. Oh yeah, trash comes out, right? Oh, our CDs are back up. Interrupt that blizzard. No thanks necessary, just doing my best. Oh my god, did he seriously grip that fucking melee mob? That is so, it's so annoying as a DPS too, because if the guy's gonna grip one mob away from the other mobs, then it's really not good. Luckily even though they're casters, they all still came. Like he gripped the one mob that he shouldn't have gripped, right? Like grip one of the casters, so then you have 3 mobs together and 1 mob separated. Oh, that's an AoE fair apparently. Hear it again. I thought we were gonna interrupt, huh? What happened to that? See you later, interrupt. I got it. I don't know how much damage this spell actually does. Not Immolate, but Rain of Fire, huh? Like, is this actually decent damage? It's literally just like selling out for Rain of Fire. Or no? Silence. Oh, we got a green to D at least. Honestly, dungeons are kind of shit because we're getting blues that we don't even want. Like, I don't want blues, I want greens. We gotta get dust. I don't think you can get dust from greens or from blues, right? I think it's not possible. My pet dead? No, he's there. I do like the way the double like thing works though. Okay, nobody's gonna kill this. Guess it's on me. It doesn't even matter. I don't even know what it does. Not sure. Oh, look at the water coming out of it. That's neat. I've never noticed that animation before. That's cool. Okay, well that's fine. Pattern? Nope. Wait, primal nether, what? Huh? Why did I get a primal nether? I thought that only came from heroic dungeons. That's weird. Okay, we're done. We did not get anything, but that's fine. No pattern. Wait, what the hell am I doing logging out? Yeah, I have to, in order to leave a group, I have to, actually undo all this UI stuff. That's the only problem. Clicking the wrong one, that's why. Okay, so wow, 3:30 already. Well, at least we're 70 now. That's useful. Oh wait, what were we doing? I've already forgotten. We were crafting, right? Primal Mooncloth. Let's not even commit to crafting anything. Let's just go see if we can't get 10 more Primal Life in the next hour and a half. That doesn't sound like it's gonna happen, but you never know. We only need 4 motes to make 7, and then 9 more after that. So who knows? I don't. Don't even ask me. I don't know. Here, let's disenchant real quick. Disenchant that cloak too. Maybe we'll get a Primal Life. Just kidding. Got a shard again that we don't want. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's see what happens. At worst, we have a plan for the future if it ever returns. Yeah, I just don't know what circumstances are going to look like in the next week here, because I've been doing it a lot on Monday, a lot on Thursday, and then a lot on Friday and Saturday evenings, but presumably Thursday, I mean, maybe I could play some Thursday morning, like before anything starts, but I might have to go at a moment's notice, who knows. And presumably I get in the alpha. I don't think it's going to happen, but just in case we get in early, then obviously the rest of the weekend's tied up. I mean, so tied up that we're not even going to be able to do what we are supposed to do on actual live stream, so we'll see what happens. But we are 70 now, so that's good. We made some progress. I hate to cut it short, but, you know, at the very least, we got to 70. From 1 to 70 is no small task playing this way. That's definitely... It's something, right? Sure. I wonder where my slash plate is. One day, 15 hours to 70. Wow. This is looking like it might be classic level shit. 1 day, 15 hours to 70. Where would you be 1 day, 15 hours in classic? Level 30? Probably level like 25. I don't even know at that point. Depends on what the rest of the levels are going to look like. It's interesting though. 1 day 30, 1 day 15 hours. I think you'd be on your way to 40, right? 30 something maybe. I don't know. Frankly, the rest of this isn't even going to be that long. Once we get all this TBC shit done, we're good. Like, we're all set. It's going to go quick after that. Once we get these items made, we're all set. I really wanted to make and wear the primal or the frozen shadow weave, but it's just, yeah, unrealistic right now, at least. I mean, it just sucks because I know that the future might be... The problem is I'm trying to, like, prevent my own mistakes. Let's put it this way. I know that if I don't make something now, the next time I do this, I'm going to forget what my train of thought was. That this is what's going to happen with the blacksmithing one, too, when I eventually pick it back up. I took, like, a massive hiatus on the blacksmithing one because I needed more materials, and the only way I can get them was from running MC, basically. So I had to just, yeah, limit, you know. I could only play as often as MC would reset. So I ended up just taking a giant hiatus. It's been like months now, probably like 5 months now since I last recorded that in that session. And I'm sure by the time I go back, I'll be like, what was I doing? Okay, these guys are supposed to drop a lot of life, so let's see if that's true. Any giants, I believe. There's a lot of them. Or maybe it's only the bog lords. I guess everything can. But these mobs are very low level, typically in TBC. Osmosis. Let's interrupt that. Good thing we still got the pet out. Unidentified plant part. Now that's for rep. I don't think we'll use any of those, but free money, I guess. I wonder how professions are gonna work. The big question with Shadowlands is like, how are some systems gonna work with the new leveling thing? Like, I don't know. Did the pet just die? No, he wasn't dead. I don't know why I thought he was. Holy shit. Okay, don't pull more than one of these mobs, huh? Keep knocking me back, canceling these 10-second chaos bolts. What was that, a quest? Yeah, it's like, how are things like heirlooms gonna work? How are things like professions gonna work when the whole game scales? Like, I don't know. It doesn't actually scale though, right? It's not actually what they're doing. Okay, we got one moat. Apparently you get life from herbalism, which is not something I have. So far, bad rate. Not good at all. Probably the same as every other moat though, honestly. We've gotten one since we've killed probably about 12 mobs now. Man. What is this osmosis? This is the heal, I guess, huh? It's unfortunate. These mobs are relatively complicated kills. Okay, we got two there. That's good. Gonna have to do some serious healing here, it looks like. Hearthstone. Can we out heal his heal? I think it's a heal anyway. Not sure actually. Looked like one. These boglords are a huge pain. Living essence, Jesus Christ. That's a classic thing, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah, that's just like the water essences or whatever we were getting. I don't know why they're coming from these areas, but they are. We will have to drain a lot here, I think. I don't know. Just not getting any. I'm just taking a lot of damage. Maybe I should switch back to the Void Walker, honestly, because these mobs, I don't know if they just hit hard or what, but I'm getting my ass kicked pretty much every mob. The knockbacks is the real problem. Okay, so let's get a Void Walker back. Oh, they still knock back, even though they're not targeting me. Okay, maybe we just need to stay farther away. That might be the play. These Hydras, I assume, don't give anything, right? Yeah, but we can't interrupt that. They're not doing much damage to the pet. Pet's staying alive pretty easily, it looks like. We've yet to use our CD once here, though. I think maybe we should do it just to get it out. Yeah, there we go. That knockback did not hit me. Good. That'll make it a lot better. Alright, we already got our first moat. We got 7 now. Of course, we only needed 4 of those, so we've only gotten 4 so far. Let's just use it to get some value out of it, because we don't seem to see any big packs that we can combine. Plus, if it's ever those bog lords, it's not ideal. Yeah, it's definitely a heal. Osmosis doesn't seem like the right name for that. Okay. Alright, we got a mode of life. Good. There's a bog lord down there. A little risky. I think it's not worth it. Don't want to aggro a Hydra. Oh yeah, that spell doesn't work in world content because, oh yeah, we also have a new PvP talent that we didn't put in. Did we see that? N, right? Okay, new PvP talent. Let's see. Causing all your single target spells to also strike targets marked with the Bane. Oh. Curses the ground with the demonic Bane. Replaces Havoc. Wait, does that even work though with this spell? But no, I don't think so. It would just hit everybody. It's like an AoE Havoc. That's kind of cool. Chaos Bolt creates a 5-yard. Oh, that's probably what we want right there. It doesn't really do anything though. It doesn't help us, but actually it kind of helps us here. It reduces the target's maximum health by up to 15%. Oh, wait, 10 seconds. That's useless. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are just useless. Yeah, these are all pointless pretty much. Demon armor, that would be the only one that's actually valuable. They just don't last long enough to be dealing with these. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait. Conflagrate deals an additional 3%. Oh. Wait, that's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that one's actually really good. Alright, small DPS increase there. Didn't do much. I was hoping it was gonna avoid the problems I was having. We got another green to DE. That's good. It's a little bit faster, I guess. We're getting a fair amount of them now. Back up to 5 already. So we've gotten 9 in the, what, 10 minutes we've been here? Oh, there we go, 11. Good. Just an unlucky start, I guess. A lot of people on the Reddit, or on the Wowhead, say that the more you farm, the more you get, which, I mean, that's just placebo, right? I think, like, there's no way that's true. Fairly certain. Fairly certain that doesn't work that way. But who knows? Sucks when you pull big and you get nothing, huh? It's the worst. That was just 2 mobs though. It's just, there's not enough areas to combine mobs. That's the problem. Another green. Well, that's good at least. Means we can make more, hopefully, if we get dust. Means we can make more imbued netherweave. We need those too. Not as bad as we need life motes, but we need them. So what else? Last time we did this full grind, we ranted pretty hard. What should we rant about? There's probably a lot of things. What's my biggest interest in Shadowlands? Like, what do I want to see the most? Honestly, other than, so like, here, let's talk about this. So, you know, a lot of people dislike BFA, but I did not. I think BFA was a very good expansion, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. The reason I thought it was a good expansion was because it had a big focus on character customization at max level. This is something that I thought Legion did well. The reason I didn't think Legion did it excellent is because legendaries were, like, far too powerful and not niche. Like, there was no niches. Basically what they did wrong was legendaries should have just been utility. They should have not ever done any damage. They should have always been utility. Like, you know, there was some legendaries that were only utility, right? That's what I'm talking about. There was like 11 legendaries and like 5 of them were utility and 6 of them were throughput, basically, whatever, you know? So they should have just made 10 legendaries, whatever, you know, whatever's feasible for them to make utility wise, and made them all different types of utility. Like maybe make one like an AoE heal, like every time you death strike it heals the party or something like that, right? They could have done that and it would have been a lot more interesting than what they did. And I think that the systems in Shadowlands hopefully will learn from the mistakes of Legion and BFA and fix that. But I do think that if there was anything to say about BFA, it did that much better than it did than Legion did, right? Because it had the essences, which were like hugely, they were basically all offense, right? But the ones that weren't were like very unique utility, right? Like the double death grip thing from the PvP talent. That is a clear indication that they understand, you know, that's very interesting to me. I think that is like, I would never take the double death grip essence, but there is times in raids where it is extremely valuable. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff is really nice, and I hope that we can get more stuff like that in the game. More things that don't necessarily change the offensive rotation, but change the utility that you bring. So I really hope that somehow we could learn from that for Shadowlands. That would be the #1 thing. But like I said, I do believe BFA already did it well. I really liked, you know, the Azurite armor too. Even though some of the items, like most famously maybe Blood Decays, were bad, I always thought people said they were worse than they were, to be honest. But yeah, they definitely weren't as good as like bears or paladins, you know? So, what can we learn? You know, what can we do better there? Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure why they were so bad compared to some of the other specs, but I can only imagine it was because they were very worried about self-healing getting out of control, In fact, the one that I was most excited about was changed and removed immediately. It was Embrace of the Darkfallen, it was called, and it was going to be a leech window whenever you finished Vamp Blood. Whenever Vamp Blood expired, you got a leech window, and to me that was them putting what's it called, Umbilicus Eternus back in the game, right? Umbilicus Eternus was what made Blood Death Knight overpowered in Legion. It basically any damage you did with Blood Plague while your Vamp Blood was up would then get like tripled or massively like expanded upon, and that amount would be a shield on you afterwards. And there was some situations in raids, like on Mistress Sazine actually was a good one, where you can get just a giant shield. But in general, it was very well balanced for single target, but it was insane for 5-mans. In 5-mans, you know, the more you pulled, the easier it got, basically. And there was other specs that this was even easier, like that concept of basically Vengeance Demon Hunter was even better than Blood at this, but that is what made Blood so good. Like the harder the content got, the harder the challenge got, the more mobs you were fighting, the easier it was to survive effectively in some non-linear way. So I always thought that they were trying to do that with Embrace of the Darkfallen. Like, oh, they're trying to put something like Umbilicus Eternus back in. And then it gets removed, and it's like, oh, they definitely were. And they just didn't realize how overpowered it was going to be, because that was going to be ridiculous. I had a video on this topic. I don't even think the game was out yet when I made the video. The video was about how overpowered Embrace of the Darkfallen was going to be. And I had 3 traits just from Uldir, the first raid tier. Just from Uldir, and I was already going to have 27% leech with 3 of those traits just from Uldir, okay? That was tier 1 of effectively a 4-tier expansion, 4-season expansion, right? So, I mean, if that's the case, I would have had 100% leech by the end, I guess. I mean, I don't know how it was going to go up and down, but yeah, you'd expect about 100% leech after Vamp Blood was over. So that trait could not stay in the game, right? It was going to be ridiculous. But still, it was like, you know, to me, that was a very interesting one. And I do think, like, it's a symbol of what was problematic with some of the Blood DK traits in general. Like, they couldn't be any better than they were, because then they would just be ridiculous. But, I don't know. Either way, I hope that they learn from that, because I really think that the expansions have gone really good. The last 2 have gone really good with max level customization. If you look at WoD, there was nothing. Literally nothing. So, like, the difference is they didn't add a new talent in BFA, right? Instead, they added all these new, like, essences and Azerite gear and what else? I guess corruption in the end. Yeah, corruption. I almost forget about corruption because it's only been out for a few months now, but that's the biggest one, right? Like, the corruption is way more powerful than any essence or anything else. So, yeah, it's very interesting that they keep thinking about the game in these ways, and I hope that they will continue to do so and make it even better every time. Because I definitely think BFA systems were better than Legion's. So basically, Legion had the artifacts, which really weren't customization. They had tier sets, which really weren't customization. And they had the legendaries, which basically were customizations, but in practice weren't. Because the ones that were offensive-minded were so good that you could not use the ones that were not offensive-minded unless... Like, it was cool for soloing. Let's put it this way. That was where I had the most fun with it. Soloing Mythic Plus dungeons and using different legendaries, that was where I had the most fun with it. But otherwise, you had to take, like, outside of maybe, like, I guess tanks and healers had a little bit more wiggle room. But still, there was no way I was not going to take, you know, some of them were just too good. No matter which one you thought was too good, you thought it was too good, and that was your only option. We had some famous battles about the chess piece. I always thought the chess piece was mandatory. It made Blood Plague do, I think it was like 100% more damage or something, so that made Umbilicus twice as strong, effectively, if that was the number, but a lot of people disagreed. They said that one wasn't worth it. Can't even remember, there was a Amanthul's, whatever, like one of those trinkets, but I don't actually remember what it did. Was it based on your health pool? It might have actually been Anima before Anima was in the game. That's funny. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like it was. But either way, I do hope that they, like, BFA did that very well in my opinion, and I do hope that Shadowlands does it even better. As has been revealed though so far, I don't know. Like, a lot of the stuff seems I feel like you can tell what the system is going to be like based on how they describe it when they first talk about it. And I felt the same way about Warfronts when they first talked about it, that it was just not going to work. Like, the way they were describing it, it was like, this is not going to work in this game, honestly. Like, are you sure? Because I don't think this is going to work. But Islands, they were like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to work. My first impression of it was exactly as it ended up. The reason people don't like Islands, though, is because they're too repetitive. But either way, I feel the same way about this Soulbind thing. Like, there's almost no information given, and what they said was like, oh, well, we're still working on this kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, if you're not sure what you want it to be, then I could see it being kind of too wishy-washy to be skilled, like to bring anything, you know? But we'll see. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be another expansion where the first half of it is shit. Because, like, basically, if you compare the first 2 seasons of BFA to the last 2 seasons of BFA, it's like a fucking embarrassment, honestly. Even the first season to the last season is bad enough. But if you compare season 1 and 2 on average to season 3 and 4 on average, it is like an entirely different video game. Once they added essences and then eventually corruption, the game changed so rapidly in terms of player development, right? Like, when you can actually pick your different powers and niches, it is so much more fun to play the spec. And that is what I absolutely love about classes right now. Even though a lot of people think classes are at their worst, any expansion, I think that player customization is at its best. So I think that's why people think classes are at their worst, because they don't care about this topic like I care about it. So anyway, for me, that is what I want to see in Shadowlands at max level. But I'm hoping that that's just a given, honestly. Like, I hope we don't have to talk about that. I hope that they'll continue to make it better. And I believe that they will. I trust that they will. I think they've learned enough to make it even better. But I hope that the leveling things, like that these leveling systems and ideas are what transform the game. I feel like even though Cataclysm was it's definitely my second least favorite expansion. I do think the one good thing about Cataclysm is that it indicated that they are interesting in making the entire game part of the game again. And I really, really, really hope this expansion is that expansion again. Is an expansion where they could make the entire world matter again. And even if it doesn't for max level, just for leveling alone will be a big step in that direction. And, you know, people were basically saying that, you know, what we have right now, this 100% leveling experience buff, people are saying that that's the Shadowlands buff. It's just in early, and I think they're probably right, frankly, because 100% experience gained is not 100% faster leveling. And they basically said that I think they said like something like 60 to 70% faster. There was some varying like numbers, like a little bit conflicting. I think one guy said 60, another guy said 70, so maybe there's some conflict there. But either way, I think that this is about 70% faster, honestly. Leveling is always like, you have to wait travel and kill times against EXP per hour. Like there's 3 things that you have to wait, right? And travel and kill times are 2 of the major ones. So, certainly I do think that 100% experience boost is good, but it's not as good as people think it is. So we'll see what they change in Shadowlands on top of that. But obviously the number one thing I want to see is the classes. So, you know, next time we record one of these, one of the things in this series, did we just, what was that, Sporgar? If we have alpha access, we might be seeing some topics discussed about that. Like we might be talking about what Warlock looks like in the future, you know? These things would be a lot of fun to talk about, so we shall see. I just hope that they can manage to make that good, because I do feel like everybody says like classes are the window at which you view the world, and I don't disagree with it, but I think they're being very very close-minded when they think that gear is also not part of that, right? Like if you're gonna say classes are the way that you experience the game, then gear is just as important, right? Like surely. Why would you not say that? I don't, you know what I mean? Like you have to admit that. So I always don't know why people don't have anything to say about that topic. I guess it's because people look at those systems as like convoluted and random, but they're really not. I mean, obviously corruption is, but Azurite gear and essences was it's so much better than, like, you can't really ask for anything better than that system other than better balance and more interesting traits. Like, that's as good as that system's gonna get in terms of deterministic outcomes. You know what I mean? The armor could have been way worse. It could have been like every single time you got one of these pieces, it just could have a random set of traits on it. Frankly, I think I would have preferred that, but that's not what we got. And, you know, these people crying about randomness are really, they have no leg to stand on with that system. And in essences, it's even worse, right? Like, absolutely no leg to stand on it. Nobody could ever say that essences are random, right? Like, you know exactly how you're going to get them. Did the pet die? Yeah. You know exactly how you're going to get them before you set out on getting them. So that is a huge departure from how legendaries were handled, and probably one of the best changes that came with the expansion, frankly. That much power could be gained from items that you could actually choose, you know, to get, basically. Like, literally, you can choose them. They effectively are completely in your control. Like, 100%, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't see any reason to have any issue with that system at all. I just hope that whatever comes in the next expansion will make classes more fun at low level and classes more fun at max level. I'm very interested in seeing what gets unpruned from my favorite specs, though. Holy Paladin, Blood Death Knight, Guardian Druid. What are these classes going to get? Resto Shaman. What are these classes going to get? Because, frankly, they're already really good. Like, Holy Pally is really, really, really fun right now. I really hope that they can keep Glimmer. I hope that they can keep Glimmer. In fact, I believe it was Haya. A couple of people have brought it up on the stream, but I think it was him. I'll give him credit. Basically, he suggested that they turn Glimmer into the Mastery, and I think that would be the best decision that the class could ever go through. The reason I no longer play Holy Pally as my main is mostly because of the Mastery. I hate the concept, honestly, as a raid healer to have to be stuck in melee. And more so, I hated the spells like, I can't remember the name of it. The thing that you press and it extends the range of your heals or something like that. I just don't like those concepts at all. I'd rather be a tanky ranged healer. So if I want to do that, now I have to be, I guess, a Resto Druid. I don't know. Shaman, maybe? I doubt it. But either way, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of what Holy Pally became. I hated it in Legion. It's growing on me again in BFA. Like, with Glimmer, I could easily see myself enjoying the spec now. Because they've really hammered home the, okay, you're in melee, but, you know what I mean? But you're going to get a lot of power from being in melee, so it's actually worth it. In Legion, it felt like I'm just stuck in melee, and in order to heal at all, I have to do a bunch of stuff that I don't really enjoy doing. So yeah. We'll see how Holy Pally is probably... Paladin in general and Death Knight, Blood DK especially, are probably the things I want to see the most with the alpha starting next week. Or this week, I guess, but later this week. I always look at Monday as last week still, because Tuesday for me is when the week starts. We're up to 9. We're only about, yeah, we still got about 45 minutes left, so you never know. But I definitely hope that classes are something that people are going to enjoy. I could already tell, though, it's not going to happen. I could already tell. People are already fucking crying about... Somebody said on the forums, the unpruning is the worst thing that you can do. Classes are already overly complicated in many ways. And, like, I don't know, a bunch of fucking nonsense, basically. So it's like, yeah, I could already tell people are going to hate this. It was on that post, too. That's where I originally saw it. Ian posted a thing about... Typically, people complain about, or not complain, but people comment on what spell we missed, but now people can comment on what spell we wish didn't come back. And I was like, why would you say that, man? You're inviting these criticisms. You're basically inviting people to complain about the major feature of the expansion. It makes me think that, like, he didn't want this to happen, but somebody else, like, forced it to happen. Like, I don't really know. I'm not really understanding why you would ever make a comment like that. It's like basically the main feature of the expansion, right? And you're gonna say like, hey, if you hate it, let me know, because we'll happily remove it or something. I don't I don't know. But I do worry that they are gonna... That ability bloat is gonna be a real thing again. Looking back at Classic, it was like... as strange as it sounds, Classic probably had like the best version of ability bloat. Like, you basically only had one rotational spell. Like, depending on the class, obviously. But like, if you were like a mage, you had like one rotational spell, right? And that's not good. But outside of the rotational spell, you had a lot of interesting things you can do. So I really hope that they do that again this expansion. Like, the rotation doesn't get any more complicated, but the actual like kit itself gets a lot more interesting. So what could they add for Blood DK that would be interesting right now? Let's talk about it. Number one is Dark Simulacrum. If Dark Simulacrum comes back to Blood DK, I'm fucking gonna be so excited. Like, if and it's usable, I guess. But like, yeah. They had a spell in the alpha of BFA that was basically a Dark Simulacrum type spell. It was a bit different than Dark Sim. What do we got here? A giant and 2 Boglords. It was not Dark Sim, but it was similar. And that was probably like the most exciting spell that the kit has ever gotten. Because I was like, man, if this goes Dark Sim's direction, this is going to be absolutely spectacular. And it didn't. It got removed. It didn't even come into the game. So, not ideal, obviously, but it certainly was interesting. Basically, they gave it to Demon Hunter and then turned it into their Purge. That's all it ended up being. Originally, what it was a spell that allowed you to steal a buff from another target and then take that buff and give it to somebody else, basically. Okay, why is this mob still alive? What the hell's going on here? What the fuck just happened? He had 100 health and he just wouldn't die. What the hell is that about? Anyway, yeah, okay, fine. But yeah, so that was a very interesting spell. And if Dark Sim or a spell like it was back, I would love that. I love Blood DK or Death Knight in general, manipulating debuffs. I always love Dark Sim for that reason. So anyway, besides Dark Sim, so they talked about having your pet back, and I don't really care for that. Like, that's not interesting to me at all as Blood DK. I kind of would rather if they didn't have the pet back, because it's a very passive thing. Like, I don't want a pet as a Blood DK. No need for it. It doesn't interest me at all. But I guess if it gives us back our lay on hands, because that was really strong in WoD. I think it was WoD, maybe MoP. You basically had a lay on hands. The amount of healing you would... I'm talking about Death Pack. Death Pack used to eat the health of the pet, which the pet would never die, so that was free. And then it would put like a massive healing absorb on you, but you're a Blood DK, so that would just be 2 Death Strikes and it'd be off you no matter what. So it was like, no, it was, you basically had lay on hands as a Blood DK. If we get that back, then I guess the pets, yeah, then that's good. I'm glad the pet came back. But it's not needed at all. Like, Blood DK does not need that. The one that I also saw that, you know, might be interesting is Anti-Magic Zone. That would be more utility for Death Knights. And again, not really needed. That's the thing, like, a lot of this stuff isn't needed. And I definitely think people are underestimating how complicated it's going to make balancing. But as long as Blizzard isn't underestimating that, then that's fine by me. Like, let's rock, you know what I mean? I'm excited to see what happens for a lot of classes. And mostly because I think it's going to make leveling a lot more interesting. I think it's going to make these leveling challenges a lot more interesting when you have a lot more utility spells. A lot of these spells just have no value at all in most content. Like, if you do a heroic dungeon, you do not need anti-magic shell or zone or whatever it is. You don't need it. It's never going to be useful there. But when you do really hard stuff, that's where this utility comes to like the forefront. Like, it's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? And as much as like max level content is hard, at that point, a lot of that stuff is designed around. Like, okay, we have anti-magic zone, we have dark simulacrum. Well, then they're going to design around it so it's not overpowered. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're going to do. But in low level content, that shit is like fucking Wild West. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care at all about that design wise, like balance wise, I mean. So like, even like low level PvP, you know what I mean? It might look completely different with some of these spells. I'm very excited. Speaking of PvP, then it makes you wonder what happens. Anti-magic zone, is that a rare? No, it's a quest. Anyway, anti-magic zone is a PvP talent right now. It's an unholy Death Knight PvP talent. So what happens when that is no longer an Unholy Death Knight PvP talent? I honestly think the answer is they're going to get rid of PvP talents. And I wouldn't actually be surprised if they got rid of War Mode. Like, I would not be surprised if something vastly changed with War Mode, because honestly, I don't know if it's worked out. Like, between flying, circumventing it, and the problems we've had with Alliance and all that, like people just not having it on Alliance at all, I don't really think it's worked. I love the concept of it, but it's just, people are just fucking little kids about shit, man. Like, even me, like you saw that circumstance, at one of the sessions of this playthrough, we got to Hellfire Peninsula and there was just a bunch of people camping for no reason. I'm just gonna turn it off. There's no reason to not, you know what I mean? Kill this mob, I guess. There's no reason to have it on at that point. It's like, okay, these guys are actually inhibiting me from playing the game the way I want to play it, so I'm just going to turn it off. The old days on a PvP server, you'd make a conscious choice. You're like, shit, well, now what? Now what am I going to do? I'm going to pull another mob. But now it's just obvious. Just turn it off. No reason to have it on. I don't know. I just don't think that's the right solution, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the main reason to use it now is PvP, or is honor talents. Yeah, PvP talents. Those, like, as you can see, are very, very powerful. And they make a big impact on leveling. But if they remove PvP talents and then give a bunch of spells back, it's almost like they didn't do anything for me. Like, if each class gains 10 spells but loses PvP talents, then it's basically like a null, like nothing's happened. Because some of these classes are so unique and fun in world content because of PvP talents. So like Holy Pally is definitely, if Holy Pally loses PvP talents, then they are now going to be horrible in world content. They're so good in world content because of this. They have 2 PvP talents that increase the value of Holy Light. One makes Holy Light deal AoE damage based on how much it heals you, and the other one makes it heal for like a bunch more, stacking or something like that. So those 2 things together turn you into like this unkillable AoE machine. And that plus their really frenetic single target offensive playstyle, it's like, it plays more fun than a DPS spec, honestly. Like inside of CDs, Holy Pally is the most fun spec in the game, honestly. I would say that, even more than Blood DK. But of course, the CDs are not everything, and they're not, yeah, still a power struggle, you know? But I don't know. It's kind of crazy how impactful some of these PvP talents are. So we'll see what they do. I definitely think PvP talents are going to be gone. War mode's probably not going to be removed, but I would not be surprised at all if PvP talents were removed. We'll see, though. Either that or they're going to be adding a ton new PvP talents. Because like I said, probably about a quarter of the stuff, like I think for Shaman especially, like almost everything they showed for Shaman was a PvP talent. It's already in the game. It's not been removed. It's just a PvP only thing. You know what I mean? But I guess the difference is you have to choose. Like, if they're talking about all these different utility totems, you can't have all of them right now. You have to choose like 2 or 3 of them. Whereas in Shadowlands, you're going to be able to have all of them and use them all differently. I don't know. But yeah, I guess Shaman and Druid. I mean, those are ones. Like, Druid's getting Cyclone back. Again, in the game currently. Not been removed. That's not pruned. It's just a PvP talent. You can use that in world content and in PvP at your heart's desire. It's only not in raids. So how are we sure that it needs to be in raids? Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure how some of this stuff is going to work out, but you know, we will find out. And then of course, I hope that we get into the alpha to test the dungeons. Obviously, I really hope that Mythic Plus, that's the obvious thing to say that I'm most excited about, Mythic Plus, right? It's the thing I do the most, so even if it's not the thing that's immediately, it's not like the sexy thing for me to bring up right now, right? Because I'm going to do Mythic Plus no matter what. No, it doesn't matter. No matter what, unless they literally remove it from the game, I'm going to do it, and it is going to be enjoyable for me. So how can they make it better? Fixes, I guess, balance-wise is one of the things they can definitely do. But frankly, it's not even, like, that's not even my number one thing. My number one thing would be better dungeons, like more interesting dungeons. More dungeons that are, like, creative, you know what I mean? Dungeons with creative solutions to difficult situations. And I don't think they could live up to the seasonal fix that we have right now. I think Shadowlands is going to be a very bad product out of the gate. I really do. Not because I expect to not like it, but I expect a lot of people to not like it. And I think it's going to be, one, because we're going to just, without corruption, our character is going to be like literally half as powerful. It's going to be the biggest like cliff that we've ever jumped off in terms of characters. They always reset power, and if you look at like even TBC to Wrath, the power reset there was insane. They do that because if you had like 100% crit at the end of Wrath, you can't have, like, what's going to happen? You're going to have 200% crit next expansion? That can't happen, right? So they have to do that. That happens regardless of anything else. But going in from Legion to BFA, it looks much worse because they did that. They did a stat squish, which confused people. And they made legendaries and artifact gone, right? So you basically lost like 50% of your power going from Legion to BFA. And oh, and this was another big change that I think a lot of people don't know actually happened. But they made secondaries give 50% less value per point. So in Legion, if you had 400 haste, you'd have 40% haste. But in BFA, if you had 400 haste, you'd have 20% haste. That's a huge fucking difference. You know what I mean? And that's, I think a lot of people confuse that to the GCD change. Really what they did was they added 3 spells to the global cooldown. That's it. In a game where 90% of the spells are on the global cooldown, now 95% of the spells are on the global cooldown. Who fucking cares? I mean, that really should not have upset anybody. But people constantly say the rotation is so much slower now. It's not changed. The rotation hasn't changed. They didn't add rotational spells to the global cooldown. They were already in the rotation and on the global cooldown. That's not changed. What's changed is you now have way less haste. So these rotational spells take longer to use and cast. You know what I mean? As a caster, it's probably most noticeable because these spells just take longer to cast. Haste dramatically increases the cast speed, okay? And when it's not doing that, then you feel the effects, I'd imagine, pretty substantially. I never really played a caster with long casts, but Destro Warlock, certainly feeling it right now, and I'm only not even playing it seriously, so... That fear, yeah, there's just no point in fearing, it seems. Because as soon as you hit Incinerate, it's pretty much over. Or Conflagrate. But anyway, that's it. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, recap. Big things is max level player customization is still the forefront of the game. It's still like the emerging, like the main thing that you work on at max level. I know they're basically getting rid of AP, but I don't believe that for a second. I think there is still going to be something that you want to and need to grind at max level. I guess that's going to be anima or whatever. It's going to be slightly different. In the way you acquire it and the way you use it, but it's still going to be something that you need to play regularly and acquire. I think they handled it really well at the end of BFA, honestly, where it was like the more you play, the better it gets, but like the tiers of power were easy. Like in BFA, you needed to get like, say like 3 tiers of power from AP, and getting those all required almost no effort. Like my alts right now are going to have 4 essences by playing like 2 hours a week, literally. That's it. I do, not 2, but it depends on the all, I guess. Yeah, less than 8 hours a week for sure. You know what I mean? Like usually 4 a week at most. I am going to have all my essences without any issue. So that kind of stuff, it's like, well, you got to have something, but you don't want to have nothing. You know what I mean? You want to have something there that there's value to be logging on your character every day, but not something that's like, if I don't grind it, I suck. And that's... Legion was terrible for that. That's another thing that sucked about Legion. Don't forget, man. I think a lot of people forget. Legion, this was all spec specific as well. It was not even, like right now it's like class specific, like character specific. If my blood DK gets AP, the neck increases no matter what spec I am. But in Legion, all of this shit was spec specific. You needed relics for your spec, you needed AP for your weapon, for your spec, and you needed legendaries for the most part for your spec. There was a couple legendaries that worked for multiple specs, but realistically, they were not good ones. Like I don't know of any one that was good. The one that immediately comes to mind is the one that completely fucked me in Legion on my Paladin and ultimately made me quit. I got Uther's Girdle or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Uther's, it was wrist or something like that. And it allow you to use like bop and stuff more or something. I think it increases the duration of them and lowered the CD or something like that. And then I think they eventually made it heal too. Out of the gate, it was like the worst fucking legendary in the video game. And of course, it was the one I got first. No surprise there when there was the shoulders and the ring, which were like insanely good. Like the best, maybe one of the best healer combos, those two. And of course, I got one of the worst ones. So, I mean, pretty much the worst. I think that's literally the worst one in the whole game. I don't know every one in the game, but I can't imagine there's one worse than that. Because like the use case for Blessing of Protection is not like, doesn't apply. You know what I mean? You don't ever want that legendary. It's never valuable. I couldn't find a single place to use it in the entire expansion. And whatever, you know, that's just how it goes, but. Alright, let's. A little aggressive here. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, it's gonna go fine. These guys are all just the easy ones. But yeah, so hopefully we don't make any mistakes like that. Character customization becomes more and more advanced, but more so the class changes are fun and give interesting points of influence to different types of situations that don't normally exist right now. Like for example, like Dark Simulacrum could be very fun in open world content, but not necessarily overpowered. Something like blessings for Paladin. I know they didn't mention them, but maybe, you never know. If they get blessings back, I will be playing my Paladin a lot. Let's put it that way. I already play it pretty good, so. Yeah, it's a good blessings, like proper blessings. Oh man, that's like one of my favorite things ever, man. It's the one thing that keeps me interested in Classic. Paladin's design in Classic. But obviously, it looks like as of BlizzCon, no info on Paladins, stuff like that. So, we'll see. And then, you know, all the leveling changes as well. Of course, the big, you know, the big thing that's been announced. This whole, like, you could level anywhere you want thing. We'll see how that goes. I don't have high hopes for it, frankly, but you never know. I just think it's gonna be weird. I think it's not gonna work the way people think it's gonna work. Like, I think it's gonna be messy, and it's not gonna be like a fun. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because I just don't know what happens with flying. I don't know what happens. Like, how could you possibly be leveled if, you know, just use the numbers we have now? How could you be level 1 in Northrend? You can't be. You can't be there without flying. That zone is terrible. You can't even do Storm Peaks and Ice Ground without flying, right? Like, it's not actually possible. So how do they make it so that that experience is good without these, like, what happens? What happens to flying? You know what I mean? Because right now flying is expansion specific. So even if you don't have flying in WoD, you can still have flying in Wrath. And, you know, you could realistically, maybe a better example would be Kata and Mop. Kata's flying, you literally just purchase. Mop's flying, I guess you purchase too. Yeah, that's not a good example. I don't know. But either way, how does it work with heirlooms right now? Heirlooms are, there's tiers of heirlooms. And this is probably going to be one of the biggest things, like one of the biggest decisions they make. Because right now heirlooms only go up to certain levels and you have to buy them, and they're extremely expensive. To buy an entire like game worth of max level heirlooms would be millions of gold, like literally, not even a joke. It's like 5,000 for the final tier of upgrades just alone. So what happens next expansion with heirlooms? Because like, I don't know, like what happens with the level squish? First of all, when you squish half the levels, like when 120 goes to 50, what happens with heirlooms? The first tier of heirlooms goes to 20 or something? Like what? You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But those are the questions that we're going to have to see answered. And I definitely don't expect them to be... Like, I don't expect that to be on the beta. Like, when the game is testable, I don't expect that to be there. Honestly, I don't... That'll be later, I think, that kind of stuff. I think a lot of that stuff is going to get tested in the PTR. Usually the stuff that is not expansion specific is one of the last things to be tested. It gets tested kind of by accident over time. And then like the complete product, the PTR usually goes up about 3 months before the pre-patch comes out. So that'll probably be like July. No, I don't know. It depends when the expansion comes out, obviously, but probably like PTR will be July or something like that. And then you can just test the pre-patch. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it's different. I made the video on the announcement, and I do think that it's encouraging. I really am encouraged by it, because one of the big things when I was able to give feedback to Blizzard, I said the big thing is that you gotta get out in front of these controversies. Like, the first time we hear about these things can't be from fan sites. It can't be from Wowhead. It has to be from Blizzard. You know what I mean? You have to understand when these things are going to cause controversy. It should not be that complicated to understand. I don't know why it would be complicated. So I think that they actually did that. Like, I believe that they understood that, and it's actually being listened to. Like, this announcement was, I should have mentioned that in the video, honestly, but this announcement didn't exist in previous expansions. It would be like a one-word thing. And it'd be like, hey, okay, the alpha's starting. We'll tell you what's coming when it comes. This was like, it told us not only what was coming, but it was basically like a bunch of stuff that was also coming in the expansion that we didn't already know was coming. And a bunch of reasonings behind it, like some very valuable information that, frankly, used to just come from websites that data mine shit, honestly. And they even said like, oh, make sure you don't read too much into shit that might not even be in the game, which is another big problem with this games community. Like, people find things that literally are not gonna ever be in the game, and then they say, oh, cut content. It's like, so that, you know, they're trying their best to kind of get out ahead of that, but you can only do so much. I am definitely encouraged by the potential that they're actually that they're potentially interested in giving us more information easier. And the one thing that was really nice on that post was that it was said that, like, so even if it's not true, like even if it means nothing, even if the words mean nothing, they're just wind, it's a good thing to say that they want the alpha and beta to be better for testing than they have been. Because BFAs, that's the one thing that just absolutely was a joke, this expansion. 100% QA, I think it's the way to describe it. Quality assurance, a fucking joke. Absolute joke. Every single patch launched with major, major bugs. And the first probably 6 months of the expansion was like, clearly the systems were not developed the way they should have been. Like that, those opening months with Azerite gear, it was just a joke, man. Until you could at least get Azerite gear from Mythic Plus, that was the worst. I can't believe that ever happened, honestly. It's insane that they would ever put that, like, on the, it's almost like somebody messed up, like something went wrong. On the alpha, the chest would grant a piece of Azerite gear every single week. And then one other piece. You'd get 2 items. An Azerite piece and one other item. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's going to be great. Like, that's exactly what I wanted. You know what I mean? And then it didn't even... They said it was a bug. They said it was never supposed to happen. It's like, well, that's fucking... It's a bit too late. It's a bit too late to call that a bug. People were giving feedback on Azerite gear, assuming that it was going to be plentiful. You know what I mean? Like, the start of the expansion, it was terrible to acquire. You could literally only get it from raids. That was it. The only place you can get it was from raids. And there was way too few pieces from raids. And the traits that you wanted, you had basically no control over, because there was so few pieces in the actual game itself that you would never have the traits you wanted. So what they did in 8.1 was they made it so you could buy it with the currency from Mythic Plus, and that was a genius idea. But they also... Let's see, this pack's going to be interesting. This guy's stuck in the tree? Yeah, it looks like he's stuck. Oh, they're all stuck. Okay, let's just get out of here. Anyway, they also made the rings, or they made it have one extra ring. That's what they did. So originally there was only 4 rings, 1 class specific ring, and then, you know, the non-class specific rings, the 3 rings. But now there's 5 rings, 2 class specific rings, and that is such a big change. Like, that is such a big change. That should have been in from the get-go. I can't imagine why both of these things were not in from the get-go. Honestly, it's so obvious that this gear is only fun when you can acquire it easily. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, it rains down from you, like from the sky on you. But it certainly has to be more than it was at the beginning of BFA, right? Like, it cannot be that infrequent. No way. It was terrible. There was people who got like 3... I knew a guy in our guild. He got 3 Azerite pieces from 3 caches back to back to back. And that was like ridiculous. I got none. I was wearing like normal raid level Azerite for most of the first tier. It was just insane. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Terrible system. But then they completely changed it, and now it's a great system. So that's what sucks about BFA. It was like just really unfinished. The launched version of BFA was terrible. But that is not changeable. You have to understand, that's not going to stop. You think like, oh man, they did such a shitty job this expansion. No, it's always going to feel that way. The start is always going to be the worst part of an expansion. Because no matter how many new systems they add, those systems only get better over time. They never get worse, right? Has there ever been a system that a patch has made it worse? I don't... Maybe people think it's the case, but like realistically, it's never happened. They always add new things for these systems. Like the Warfront, right? The first Warfront, as bad as Warfronts were, they still added a new Warfront and heroic Warfronts. Those were big additions to the system, and they made them a lot more interesting. Heroic Warfronts is what it should have been the whole time, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay. They're going to continue to support this content even though it's pretty bad. It didn't have the desired effect. I don't think anybody does Warfronts for fun. You know, I think very few people ever think like, oh, the Warfront, I can't wait. Like, at least islands, you know, there is fun there. I would love to solo islands. If I could do that. I guess I would love to solo Warfronts too. That would actually be very interesting. I need to just get an army of bot accounts. Not bots, but an army of second accounts and just queue for islands and then have the other 2 leave. But I don't know. Okay, we got about 30 minutes left, and we do not have 16. We're not that far off, though, to be fair. I might just buy some, honestly. You know what? I think I'm gonna buy some. I'll go on my death knight and spend some money and then send them over. Just because, you know what? It's like, I want to get something done, and I feel like we've put our time into this. This is just tough. Like, these materials are long. They take a long time to get. So, I think we put the time in for it. Like, I don't think we have not cheated ourselves, you know what I mean? We've not started a challenge and then reneged on the challenging parts of it. We've been leveling effectively naked for the whole time now. And, yeah. I think we've done more than our fair share. Wait a second. Havoc makes it gets double the shards too, doesn't it? I just realized. I bet it does. Havoc makes us get twice as many soul shards from the spell. Maybe doesn't? I think it does though, honestly. Looks like we'll probably finish with about 12 or 13 of these, so we'll only have to buy a few. I was really hoping I was going to be able to transmute them, because that would have been a lot more interesting. I can just buy, I could use the money I'm making on this character, buy earths, and then transmute them to other things. But I would need an army of alchemists, basically. I could have gotten a bunch of them, it's just to get the transmutes, that's the hard part. It's a pain in the ass, I don't want to keep running Underbog. As much as I like the dungeon. I don't have enough soul shards. Come on. Takes forever to take over, I don't know why. Got a bunch of comments to read on YouTube as well. Eager to read them, but I'll wait until after this is over because I don't want to disrupt this. Just posted that video. Basically, didn't take too long to make, but I wanted to make like a thumbnail and a playlist now that we're officially in Shadowlands coverage, so had to do that. That took a little longer. This is a really fun way to play the game, though. I would do this with just like actual party sync, like max level characters come out here with party sync. It's just, it's difficult and it's expensive. Like, I'd have to level characters to all the brackets. The big problem is dungeons, actually. The big problem is dungeons. Like, in order to queue for dungeons, the person, let's see how this would have to. Yeah, party sync does not help with dungeon queuing at all. When you queue for a dungeon, you're 120. The person has to be able to queue for the dungeon you want to do. So that would mean in order to do every dungeon in TBC, I don't even know what you'd be. The problem is the random dungeon system. That's what sucks. Random dungeon cannot give you, it seems anyway, that it cannot give you like a wide variety of dungeons. If you queue at level 60 for classic dungeons, you will not get dead mines. Let's put it that way. Like, I don't think I've ever had that happen. You have to queue solo, which is fine, but it's just not as fun. Like, I don't want to queue solo. I want to queue specific, you know what I mean? So that's the part that sucks with this. So, like, if you want to queue, like, basically I need, like, a level 40 character, because all my favorite dungeons are 35 to 45, basically. Otherwise, I'd have to queue specific for them, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly on the table, but yeah, I don't know. So that would be even more complicated for TBC for other expansions. Like, if I wanted to do Steam Vaults, I'd have to solo queue for it and have somebody at level 70. Actually, yeah. That's how it works. The character that I would queue with would have to be level 70. Otherwise, that would be it. I did test, we talked about this yesterday. I think it was yesterday, I don't know. These are all blurring together, but we talked about this on this stream at some point on these videos. And, oh wait, what the hell has that been long? See, I just don't even notice at times. Here, let's get through here. Anyway, we talked about, what I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. Oh yeah, Twilight Devastation in low level dungeons. I tried it. It doesn't work. They're disabled. Corruption is disabled. So is essences, trinkets, pretty much everything that you would have that might be strong at max level. It's all disabled, which is understandable, of course, but. That would have been really cool, though, honestly. The concept of party sync is really neat. It's just the things that sucks is like the templates and like it's not actually your character, basically. Like my Death Knight is defined by the essences and some of the stuff at max level, right? So like to go do what the hell? To go do a dungeon without any of that stuff, it's like, okay, I mean, it's still my Death Knight, but it's certainly not the same. It is kind of cool to go do Wailing Caverns as a Death Knight, though. It's not. You should do it as a Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is probably like the coolest thing for that. Party sync and all that. That's what I should have did. Demon Hunter Classic World Tour or something like that. Level a Demon Hunter and like nope out. Like Khadgar's like, we need your help. And you're like, fuck that, I'm going to kill like fucking gnomes and shit. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. That'd be cool, actually. I've never actually done. We did some testing of Demon Hunter and Party Sync, but never actually done anything with it. Apparently, they're really, really, really strong in low-level content because they don't lose many spells. Like, they were obviously not designed around level 60. So the spells that they lose are basically just the first. They have the spells they would have in the first 3 talents. And that's literally pretty much everything. I don't actually even know what they lose, honestly. But they still have Eye Beam, which is all they need, right? Spells like that are just core and far too powerful. Especially considering like low-level characters don't have their like spec-defining talent. Or spell, I mean, not talent, obviously. Like, they do lose the talents. It's not like they have Demonic. But they have Eye Beam. How are we doing here? We got 12. We got probably another 15 minutes. We'll stop at 5:10 because by the time we get back and do all the stuff on our Death Knight, oh, we might actually have to stop earlier than that. I didn't think how long it was going to take to get back to Shatrith. Wait, no, we don't want to go back to Shatrith. We don't. We want to stay in this zone because we need to make the moon cloth. That's in this zone. Just need to be at a mailbox so I could send this shit over for my Death Knight. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we'll just go back to this. All right, so about 5:10. At 5:10, we will stop grinding these mobs. We will head back to the city, and we will make as much mooncloth and potentially make a gear as we need. I mean, we definitely am just gonna buy what's left, so we'll be making the shoulders for sure, and we will be wearing them, despite them looking really bad with this with this gear. This set is like an awesome. I mean, like legitimately. I might use this exact set as transmog in the future. Now, you know, I looked up, Wrath apparently had the same system. I didn't realize this. Wrath had the 3 different spell type cloth, like this 3 different cloth types. And you also had to make them in really obscure places. Apparently, the Shadow Cloth equivalent was in this ridiculously bad place. Like a place that people like were just crying their eyes out about. You used to fall down a cave or something like that, and you'd often die to fall damage if you didn't land exactly where you wanted to. It's kind of crazy. But then they eventually changed it to a place in Dragon's Blight. I guess they made them all related to the dragon areas in Dragon's Blight. That's another place. If there was like a zone, so we talked about this is something else to look forward on the channel eventually. We talked about doing, and I definitely want to do this on the alpha for sure because it's gonna be a lot easier to do on the alpha. On LiveWow, we'd have to do, like, we'd have to party sync to get it done. Hopefully on the alpha, the problem that sucks with party sync and why we're saying this is because if I wanted to do all of Dragon Blight or whatever, not a great example. It's what I was thinking of when I thought up the topic, but if we wanted to do, say, all of Dread Waste, that's a good one. We'd have to get to the level that you can do Dread Waste, which I think is like, it's higher than it should be, frankly. And we would have to do it all before we out-leveled it, right? Which, even now, especially with the 100% experience thing, that's unrealistic. You're not going to finish that many zones in MoP. Like, you're not going to start at, say, like, 84. I don't know what you... Let's see. I'm sure we could see. This mob's going to aggro. Pandaria, Dread Waste. Yeah, so 84. You have to be 84. So that means that we would need to get at least... Yeah, we'd get 6 levels out of Dread Waste. But that would be it. That's all we would be able to do in the zone. And Cops told me that he can get 80 to 90 just in Jade Forest. 10 levels from one zone. So that means that if we wanted to do the entirety of Dread Waste, we would either have to do it for no gain or party sync. And that's all well and good. But as soon as we party sync, we start from scratch, right? Unless the character that we're party syncing with us has been like dual boxing it along the way or something like that, you know? So it's just like a convoluted system. I love the idea of it, but it's just, it's like, it's too like not refined, I guess is the way to put it. So I love what it can do for the game right now, but it's very complicated. So it's going to be way, 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 way easier to do this in Shadowlands, where we can just set, like, we're leveling in Wrath. I can go to Dread Waste, you know, I could level a little bit, get to Wrath, get to Dread Waste. However, I don't know what the requirements are going to be like. I don't know how any of that's going to work. I don't know if anybody knows yet. Maybe even Blizzard doesn't know yet. But either way, I assume there'll be some requirements. So I'll have to level a little bit in Howling Fjord. Maybe I would do like all of Howling Fjord and all of Dread Waste in one, you know, in like one IRL sitting. Not necessarily like in one actual sitting in game. But like this would be my plan. I would record both of those zones because they're both zones that I love and I want to do a series on. But like to do them now, oh, there's a player here. Let's run away. Anyway, yeah, to do them right now, it would be a lot of work and impossible without party sync effectively. Those aren't good examples because I could easily, that would be easily done. Like specific Wrath zones is not a problem at all. Those would be probably the easiest example. Because I literally just make a Volpyrian Death Knight and just go right to Wrath and then just do all of those 2 zones. And that would probably still not even, maybe that wouldn't even get me to 80. I don't know. I've never done it. But I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I'd love to do all of Jade Forest again. I'd love to do all of, pretty much a lot of the MoP zones are excellent zones. In order to do them all, I'd have to party sync. There'd be no way I could do them at level, gaining experience, and not out-level them with this 100% experience thing. So, yeah. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting. The only one that I could do right now for sure would be the Blood Elf starting zone, which is one I wanted to do. I wanted to do a full, like, Quelt the Lost playthrough. What would I do? Maybe a Blood Elf Hunter? I don't know. What would be like... When you think of a Blood Elf, what do you think of? I think of Paladin, but, like, when I think of Quelt the Lost, I don't think of Paladin. There was no Blood Elf Hunter. There was no Blood Elf Paladin in... There was not a Paladin in Warcraft 3 that wasn't a human, so... that doesn't come to mind. We got a lot of greens, too, though. But yeah, I don't really know. Hunter, I think, right? You think of a ranger, you think of Sylvanas and those characters, the archers. So maybe I would make a hunter. That would probably be what I would do. Paladin seems really good. Holy Paladin, low-level Holy Paladin, though, I don't know. I did start that Dwarf Paladin that I was talking about potentially starting. A Dark Iron, I went Dark Iron. And I did a Battleground, and it was fun, actually. It was really fun. But they just have so few spells at that level. It's kind of unfortunate. Only 1 charge of Crusader Strike, too. That's the crazy part. That spec sucks without 2 charges of Crusader Strike. That's terrible. That is super overkill. I think Hunter would be fun though. I don't know what a low level Hunter has. I'll have to make a level 1 Hunter and see. But like it'll make me wonder what's in the alpha. And that's why I really like that post that they made. Because they're explicitly telling you what's in the alpha. You don't have to guess. You don't have to go to Wowhead to figure it out. Well, maybe there's going to be things that they didn't tell us about. It's pretty stupid to say that. I'm giving them way too much credit. There's definitely going to be things that are in the alpha that are not, that were not discussed on that post. But still, it's really good that it's giving us the opportunity to know exactly what's happening before it happens. Like, that is a big deal, honestly. So I like that quite a lot. And I'm excited for the alpha because I want to test some things. But I really hope that the leveling stuff that we can test, that we eventually will have access to, is sooner rather than later. Because that's frankly the thing I want to test the most. In the alpha, there's not like a complete max level picture yet. It's mostly like, alright, let's test the preliminaries of the expansion. And that seems like the perfect time to test the leveling stuff. Because frankly, most people are not going to bother with it once the game is out. Like, the first 6 months of the expansion, very, very few people are going to be bothering to level characters. You know what I mean? That aren't their mains. Like, they're going to be leveling characters with the intent of getting them geared and doing stuff at max level. Not, I'm leveling them to do leveling challenges, you know? So, we'll see. Okay. Where the hell did that guy come from? No, we don't have the CD up. How long? Soon. Alright, good. We'll get that big, like 3 mobs literally right on top of each other. Although I think the one's padding pretty far away, yeah. Yeah, that's... The window is closing, unfortunately. We could still combine it. Maybe not. That's padding far. Knockback's really fucking me here. Oh, I'm dead. I don't have healthstones. Fucking Christ, man! I never have healthstones. I wish there were no... Why do they have charges? I wish they didn't have charges for you. I guess I understand why there's charges. Okay, I think that's just going to be it, though. It's almost 5 o'clock, and by the time I get back... Okay, so we only have 12. Actually, that's not true. We don't have... I kept thinking we had to go to Shatrith, but we don't. What the hell? Wow, we just got a $50 Patreon. What the hell? Tristan Leitner. God damn. What the fuck? I don't even know who that is. Whoever that is, I doubt you're watching this even in the future, but thank you. That is insanely generous. Okay, where are we? Close. What is FOMO? I don't know what that means. Fear of missing out. Oh, yeah. Fury Warrior always looks like it's really cool in the leveling. Well, the CD's back up. Give it one more try. Let's not aggro 4 this time. Okay, we need to make Hellstones too. Don't know how I did that without Hellstones. That was stupid. Alright, one last big pull. Where they're gonna come from different directions this time. We got 3 there at least. Okay, we still got a couple minutes. We can kill a couple more here. I just don't think... How many do I need right now? Oh, we just got 10. Probably a good place to start. Let's get one more. And then, yeah, we'll stop. One more just so I don't lose the stack. I like having them in my inventory just so I know exactly what I have and what I don't have. Especially because potentially taking months off maybe from this. I don't know how long it will be, but if I don't come back to this anytime soon, I might forget what I was even doing or why I was collecting these things. Okay, there we go. So we have 13. We need to get 3 more from the auction house, which should not... It's going to cost maybe 2,000 gold at most. Can't remember, but not much at all. And that's that. We can go make our gear. So let's go ahead and make sure we have exactly what we need before we do anything. And whatever we don't have, we will buy on the auction house and wrap this up here. I think this has been successful. It's been really fun. If this is the last time I play it for a long time, then that's life, you know. But I think, you know, we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know why. Like when I read that post, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna actually invite me to the alpha in the first wave finally. So I usually get in the second wave. Like it's usually very quick, but usually the first wave comes out, and then there's like nothing for like 3 weeks, and then I get in. That's how it's gone in the past. And I hope that at least it goes that way this time. But I'm really thinking based on the wording. I mean, I don't know. Like, why word it that way? Who else has an account like mine? Very few people, honestly. Very few people. So if I'm not in the first wave, it would probably be because a lot more people have an account than I realize in this situation. And they also deserve to be in it, and I just get unlucky. Like I said on the thing before, like, if there's like 500 people that could be in, you know, if they're only going to invite like 1,000 people or something like that, and 500 of them are in this situation, but there's 1,000 total people who are in that situation, then maybe I get unlucky. Anyway, here, let's vendor 2 while we're here. Clear the bags. We got a lot to disenchant. We'll disenchant as well. I'd hang on to that enchanting pattern just in case. And apparently there's a quest here. What is this quest? Swamp Rat Post? Oh, that was up there. Okay, let's go turn that in too, since we still have a little bit extra time. But let's see, while we do that, we'll see exactly how much we need. Okay, so again, in order to make the shoulders, we need 8 Primal Mooncloth and 8 Primal Life. That means 8, so 16 total of these and 8 total of these, which we have more than enough. Yeah, we have absolutely more than enough of everything besides we need 3 more Primal Life, and that is it.
What you want?
Got to 71, so that's nice. Wait, what is that? Huh? It just automatically gave me flying. I don't even want it. The fuck? You just get it for free now? When the hell did that become a thing? Okay, well, whatever. I don't plan on using it, but that's kind of annoying. That must be annoying if you're playing a druid then, because you can't use your... Yeah, that actually happened to Cop, didn't it? I think I remember this happening to Cop. He got it for free randomly. Or maybe it was Siler. Somebody was playing and they just randomly got flying, and that must be it. When you get 71, you just get flying for free for some reason. I don't know why anybody would ever buy it then. Okay, anyway, let's keep vendoring.
Can I assist you?
Got a lot of greens. I guess we'll hang on to these living essences. Doesn't feel like there's a reason to vendor them, but not really a reason to keep them either. Unidentified plant parts. I guess we should hang on to those too because maybe they're valuable. At worst, we auction them, put them on the auction house. Okay, we got a lot of greens. Still have that totem. Oh, hold on a second. We got some items that we can get transmogs from, so let's do that. I can't tell what they are, but that's fine. Is that it? It's the only piece? Thought there was more than that. Oh no, yeah, these boots as well. Oh, for one. There we go, dust. Dust again. Got 4 more items. Not dust. Got dust. We got 8 so far. One more chance. Let's get 10. Nope. Those shards, those small shards, are just, I feel like they're useless. I don't know what they're for, but I guess they're for enchanting. I don't know. Okay, anyway, now is the time to go on the Death Knight and buy 3 Primal Life. And then we will make enough materials to make a shoulder piece. Or maybe we should just commit and make everything. No, because I don't have any mana. I'm not spending that much money on on this character. I couldn't make that much cloth anyway. I only have I can make 4 more of these. Let's make those quick. Let's see how much I could actually make. Shenanigans, that's a good name. This guy like RPing or something? What's he doing? Okay, so I have 22. Oh, I have 22. That's a lot. That's plenty to make the full set, for sure. But what would I need to make the robe? Actually, it might not be. Wait, what? 14 plus 8. I did 14 times 8. That is 22. Yeah, that's exactly enough. Okay, so that's interesting. But yeah, I would need 12 primal mana. That's the problem. How much is that going to... I think they were like 500 each, right? 500 times 12. 6,000. 6,000 gold on that. And then I would need the materials. We would need a lot more primal life. Oh, that's a nice song playing. Why is this playing? This sounds like the Varian theme or something. I don't think there's even enough materials for this. I would need to buy like 20 of all of these things. Let's just go see how much everything's going to cost. I honestly don't even want to log off right now. It's a very nice song. Very nice song. Okay, let's go on the Death Knight. We gotta get to... Wait, did I just go on the Demon Hunter? That keeps happening. I feel like something's happening a bit. Yeah, wrong character. I don't know why this happens.
I got what you need. Come back anytime.
Okay, anyway, primal life. There's 46 available. I'm gonna need to make like a shopping list though if I'm gonna buy this much stuff. Primal water. There's 10 available. That's a big difference. I can just spend like 50,000 gold on this though, honestly. And then primal mana. There's 13 exactly. Let's just fucking buy them all. Who cares? Let's just do this. Whatever. Primal life. What do we need? At least 20 of these. Buy 20. And then primal water. Probably another 10 of these. Just buy them all. Alright, we've committed, guys. As much as I didn't want to cheat, I definitely want to get these pieces made. So let's do it, and it'll allow us to move on a little bit. Metro Imp. Got it. Okay. Alright. So we got mana. Okay, so let's say we need to make all 22 mooncloth. It's going to take a while, isn't it? Moonwell's right over here, so we're in good position to do that. I have to run to the bathroom, so I'm going to let that play out. Let's see how long it takes to make one. I don't have the cast bar on the screen. Why is that? Because plater. That's why. Okay, I'll be right back, and when we're returning, we'll have all this primal mooncloth. Well, that didn't take long. I feel like it used to be a really long cast time to make that stuff, didn't it? Okay, anyway, alright. So now we make primal mooncloth shoulders. Make the robe first. Boom. This is gonna take a while, that's cool. Here, hold on a second. Let's make it like really cinematic too. This is like the first big thing we've done this whole play session, basically. Primal mooncloth robe. Maybe I should try to sell it. I mean, I could literally sell one of these pieces and make like enough money to buy the rest of the game's worth of shit. It's funny. But no, honestly, I want the transmog. Okay, that is it. We have two of the three pieces. The other one I could probably get enough to buy, but I think we'll just stop there because that's a bit ridiculous now. Alright, let's put them on. Let's see what they look like. Very nice. I look like a priest now, but that's fine. Very good. Excellent. 2 very nice pieces, and we can disenchant these just in case. I don't think it's worth it, actually. Let's just vendor them. It's going to give me, like, low-level classic enchant materials, and I don't really care about that. Cool. So that was good. How much? Let's see the difference in spells. Oh, yeah, we have gem sockets, too, right? Isn't there somebody who sells gems? Let's go do that, too, quick. There's somebody who sells cheap gems, right? In the other zone. So, yeah, 12 or 21 intellect, 12 stamina, 13 versatility, compared to 14 intellect and 14 stamina. So that's a big difference. You lose stamina, but you gain verse. And then 25 intellect compared to 10 intellect, 17 verse compared to 16 verse, but 14 stamina and 2 sockets. And that is it. Okay, cool. Let's go do that. I think there's a gem person in, like, the inn. Yeah, well, though there's probably going to be a ton of ganking, but we'll see if we can't get there and buy something. Maybe they're in more zones than just that. I don't know. But yeah, so 71, 2 items on, although, you know, not necessarily obtained legitimately. Definitely cheated, but frankly, I really feel like I put my time in here, man. I don't know. I spent a lot of time grinding for these moats, so what I have left over is basically what I had. Buying 12,000 gold worth of moats was not my intention. But we still want to make more gear. At this point, I don't really care about the boots for this set. I still would like to make other pieces, so like just to get more transmogs. That's a pretty nice robe. I wouldn't mind getting that as a transmog, so that might be the next thing we do. I would just need to get more. We have no dust, that's the problem. Yeah, we need to get a lot more stuff, so that's kind of out. We'd have to, I don't know, we'd have to buy, I don't know. We'd have to just get greens and get dust that way and then buy cloth, I think is probably the play. Ideally, I'd like to actually wear this set. I just don't know how realistic that is. Because Shadow Cloth is tough. It's a lot harder than Primal Moon Cloth. And ideally, I'd still make Spell Cloth, but that's also tough. Oh, we never actually bought the Spell Cloth stuff. We can go and do that too, since we do have a little bit of extra time. This is gonna be a hell of a run, though, isn't it? Sham guy. It's weird how many people die and then just leave their corpse there. I don't see that a lot in these leveling playthroughs. Maybe the guy got ganked. I guess it's probably what happened in the end. I'm on the wrong side of the road though, aren't I? Can we cross over? When can we cross over? Not very easily, one way or the other. We'll have to cross up here. Oh yeah, last time we were here there was just like, yeah, it's still there. There's like a book or it's like a piece of paper or something that's like glowing. This dungeon is iconic, but I think it's one of the poorest made dungeons ever, honestly. It's so short and small, like just size of zone wise. Wait, this is not the right way apparently. This way? I'm lost, I guess. How did that happen? Okay, here we go. Didn't realize there was 2 entrances. Stunned. Okay, what a surprise. Use that and pull this thing too, I think. I'm dead one way or the other, it looks like. What the hell? Wow, okay. Those mobs do a lot of fucking damage. Let's just take Red Sickness. Don't have time for this. Don't know how that happened, but okay. Oh, there's nobody here. Just, oh wait, yes there is. All the NPCs are dead. What a surprise. 800k blood DK, damn. That could be a very geared player or a very under-geared player, one of the two. How do we do this again? And sadly, we got to keep turning it off every time we come here to get anything done. People are always wasting time. Gem Bender, here we go. Okay, so what do we got? Intellect? Yeah, well, hold on a second. Is there still gem slots? No, it doesn't matter anymore. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, we'll buy 4 intellects. It's gotta be our best choice. Sweet. It's cool. Kinda cool, anyway. I like that they added those gems. What were the item levels? 73. Shoulders are low. Chest is 80. 42 to 80. 47 to 73. So that's pretty good. Okay, let's fly all the way back to Shatrith. I do want to put war mode back on before we end today because I'm gonna forget if I don't do it now. So we need to do it now. I don't know if I'm gonna have time though. I gotta go at 5:30 and that's 8 minutes from now. So that's probably, it might not be enough time. We'll see. Sorry, just replying to some posts here. While we head back, it's gonna be a long trip. This is not gonna work here. We gotta go through this way. I have a little bit more time, I guess. Okay, that's the one. Somebody says, today I uninstall WoW. I said, you sound like a nice fella. Thanks for sharing with us. You will be missed. Can you reinstall real quick though and give me your gold? It's funny. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Going the right way now? We're almost there. It doesn't take long at all, actually. Alright, anyway, we're back to Shatrith. We came here to go to Orgrimmar and turn war mode on. And that is what we shall do. And then that's it. Next time, eventually, I can just say these words out loud. Maybe I'll remember them. Don't quote me, though. There's a very good chance that I will not remember these words. But yeah, next time we play this, we're going to keep grinding. I think we'll start working on the other sets. Oh, I want to buy Spellcloth, too. That's another reason I came back here. I want to buy the Spellcloth set, too, while we're here. Let's do that real quick. Hopefully that'll be the last time we ever have to go back. I don't like using portals one way or the other. No matter what I... Oh, I'll look at Covenant class and signature abilities. Damn, I'll have to make a video on that, too. One of the reasons why... Like, you know, cheating in the other ways is one thing, but this is... The quick travel thing, that is something that I don't want to compromise on, so it sucks to have to do that, but it's the only option. I want war mode on. I can't go to Hellfire Peninsula when war mode is on, so I have to turn it off just to be able to do that, and then I can leave. And that's a good example of what I'm talking about with war mode earlier, right? Like, it's just really unfortunate that it goes that way, but whatever. Okay, where's this person at? Here. Wait, did we buy these? Or no, we bought Shadow Weave, we didn't buy Spell Weave. Wait, no, we did. Or did we not? No, we didn't. My, you're a tall one. Hey, thanks a lot, Gnome. Stay small, bro. Okay, next up. Okay, so let's see, tailoring. So we can make bags too, that's funny. Oh, that's an enchanting bag though, it's useless. Those are useless. I don't know why they're even still in the game, honestly. I know they're not gonna remove old ones, but it seems weird. Oh my god, fucking 16 fires to make this, Jesus Christ. This set isn't very nice. Honestly, I really wish, yeah, so next time we play, we have to try to get the helms. I really want the helm that goes with this set. That'll probably be the last thing we try to make, honestly, like that we definitely want to make. It would look really good. It's Outland, obviously. Hats, yeah, here we go. White mend hood. It goes with the set very well. And then there's also white mend something else. Belt, maybe? Feet. White mend pants. For whatever reason. So yeah, we can make pants too. And then in terms of cloaks, is there any cloaks? Because I feel like I don't have a lot of good cloaks. These are all from Mana Weave Cloak. Probably don't have any of the well, I got a couple of them. These are all things that I'll never get though, realistically. They're like super rare cloaks. Like the patterns are rare. It's pretty decent. That would go good with the set, but from Something that I'll never do. Oh yeah, we might try to solo some heroics too. I want to try that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely want to try to get these pieces. That just goes well with the other piece. Spell strike, and yeah, they basically go with their pieces. So if I can get that helm, that would be pretty cool. And that's from Botanica, so I think we'll just start solo queuing for Botanica and try to get that piece. We would just need the might then, and then we'd have to keep grinding. The good thing is these pieces don't actually require, like, you don't have to have other things. We just need might, which I'd have to get on my Death Knight anyway, so I would just be inclined to buy it. But anyway, that is it. So thank you for watching. If this is the last time we do it for a while, hopefully it'll be a fun resume when we do eventually resume. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.